Welcome to Creighton University's virtual summer preview. I wish we could all be together in person, but I'm happy to be here with you virtually today to talk about study abroad opportunities and international opportunities at Creighton and where in the world is Creighton. So my name is Jill Meggie and I am the Director of Study Abroad, and the Study Abroad office is located within the Global Engagement Office of Creighton University, and we are in the Creighton Hall building on the third floor. So I'm going to talk mainly about study abroad opportunities that are available to undergraduates at Creighton. This is a true passion of mine. I'm very fortunate to be able to work in a field that is something that I feel so passionate about. My whole journey with study abroad began with my own study abroad opportunity when I was in undergrad and I spent a semester abroad in Australia. And it was such a life-changing experience for me that I vowed to someday make it my job to help other people have similar experiences. And now, several years later, we won't talk about how many, but here I am at Creighton University getting to do just that. And Creighton is in a really unique situation where the whole of Creighton University, Father Henriksen, is very supportive of global engagement opportunities and study abroad at the university, which is not the case all across colleges and universities everywhere. So we're very fortunate that study abroad and global engagement is really weaved into the mission of Creighton. So what is study abroad? I like to say that it is any time that a Creighton student travels outside of the US, we do have a couple domestic programs as well, to earn credit towards his or her degree at Creighton. So they are credit-bearing opportunities. And study abroad can include coursework, volunteer service, internships, or any other activity where a student is fulfilling some sort of requirement towards his or her graduation. And one important thing to know is that study abroad credits must be approved in advance before a student goes abroad, and credit is not granted retroactively once they return. So it is a pretty time-consuming process at the beginning to prepare for study abroad, because there's a lot of work front-loaded to make sure that students know exactly what classes are available abroad and what they might be registering in, and how that will transfer back and apply to their transcript here at Creighton. So there is little to no chance of a student going abroad, taking classes, and then Creighton saying, oh, sorry, that didn't count for anything you needed. All of that work is done ahead of time, so a student knows which classes will count for which credits here at Creighton. And why study abroad? There are so many reasons, but a few of them are listed here. To learn or improve a new language, being immersed is truly the best way to learn. Take classes in a new city. I know that Omaha might be a new city for a lot of incoming students, and it can seem kind of scary to think about going somewhere else already, but know that by the time students study abroad, going to another new city is a way to become more independent. Independence grows in college just by the nature of being a college student, but living in a city or a country completely outside of one's comfort zone again really grows that independence. And it helps students learn how to adapt to new situations. You know, even though with technology, mom and dad and families are still a call away, you still have to learn to be adaptable and problem solve a little bit more when you're abroad for a certain amount of time. It's a great chance to interact with other cultures, prepare for a professional career, whatever that might be for your student. And I really like to reiterate that this is the best time of your life to explore the world. A lot of students come to me and say, well, it might be kind of hard to fit in. I think I'll just go to Europe after I graduate and travel around with some friends. And while that is a wonderful opportunity, the reality is life comes at you pretty fast when college is done, and taking a few months away to live and travel is not as realistic for a lot of students. So it really is a great time to be able to live and really immerse yourself in another place for a significant amount of time. So I'm a visual person. I enjoy maps, so I put a lot of maps in my presentations, hoping that other people enjoy them too. So this is just a visual representation. These yellow stars are places where Creighton has study abroad partnership programs already. We call them Creighton in programs. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about those later, but this is just a representation where you can see really across the world, across the continent, Creighton has partnership programs in very diverse locations. Now, these red stars are additional places where we have worked with study abroad students over the past several years. So just because we don't have a partnership program in one specific place or university doesn't mean that we don't also have study abroad opportunities at those places through other partnerships or exchange programs that we have. So I just like this to be a visual representation of not only where we have partnership programs already identified and already solidified, but know that we do have flexibility with other partners in exchange programs to be able to work with students and get them to different areas of the world. So there really are many, many opportunities for students to get involved in whatever culture, whatever language, whatever area of the world they're interested in. And one of the benefits to study abroad at Creighton is that it is an affordable part of the Creighton experience. So those Creighton in programs that I touched on briefly, those yellow stars, for students who participate in Creighton in programs, Creighton allows tuition and scholarships to transfer and apply to your study abroad opportunities. So any Creighton scholarships that a student has, if they do decide to participate in a Creighton in semester year abroad program, those academic scholarships apply to study abroad, which is a really big bonus. And any federal financial aid can transfer. So if you have any federal loans, those are applicable to study abroad as well. And there are some scholarships available. They vary pretty widely depending on the location that students are going, the length of time they'll be gone. But our team in the study abroad office can help advise students on the best ways and the best resources to look for those applications. And of course, there are some locations that have a lower cost of living than many other places. One place that I spent a significant time abroad in my life is London, and London is an extremely expensive place to live and be. I wouldn't change it. I loved every minute of it, but those are things to take into consideration, as that sometimes the cost of living just in a different city in a different country can be pretty high, but we do partner with lots of locations that have a lower cost of living. So if finances are a big component, then we can help students look at places that might be a little bit more affordable to spend a larger amount of time. So our general requirements for study abroad across the board at Creighton is that students must have a minimum 2.5 GPA. And there are some programs that have a higher GPA requirement, and we will have that information available on our website. And our global programs coordinators will also communicate that with students. If your student is interested in a particular location or program that has a higher GPA, we would let him or her know that. And all students do need to be in sophomore standing and have completed 2 full semesters at Creighton. So students are eligible to apply for study abroad as early as the summer after their freshman year, or to do longer term programs, students can start going abroad sophomore year. And most of our students do study abroad either sophomore or junior year. Those are the most common times that students study abroad at Creighton. Students do need to be clear of all disciplinary sanctions. No one is allowed to study abroad while on probation at Creighton. And all students do have to be making satisfactory progress towards a degree. So you do have to be taking classes towards degree completion here at Creighton University. So I mentioned a little bit about Creighton in programs, and I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about those now. So when I talk about Creighton in programs, I'm referring to semester and year-long programs abroad, where Creighton has already created a strong partnership with a university in a specific location. Now, a benefit to Creighton and programs, like I mentioned, is that you keep most of your scholarships and financial aid. Those all would apply to your Creighton and programs. There's very few exceptions to that. One would be students on an athletic scholarship. If you are no longer able to participate in your sport, you might not keep that athletic scholarship. And also work study, federal work study is something that usually does not transfer abroad because there are no work study positions at universities abroad. So those are kind of the two caveats, but across the board, generally most scholarships from Creighton and of course your federal financial aid will apply to study abroad. And with these Creighton programs, another benefit is that you pay your tuition and fees directly to Creighton, just like you would for a normal semester here on Omaha's campus. So that makes it really easy. Whatever scholarships, whatever financial aid you have, however you pay for tuition and fees for a normal semester here at Creighton is going to be how you would do it for a semester abroad with a Creighton program as well. Now, the difference there would be room and board. So sometimes you would pay your room and board directly to the university overseas, and sometimes you'd pay your room and board to Creighton University for that semester. It just depends on our agreement with that specific university, but you would never be double billed. You would never pay for room and board at Creighton and at the university abroad. It would be one or the other. Another great aspect of Creighton programs is that they do all meet or exceed Creighton's academic standards. And that's a really, it's a pretty rigorous process to be able to get approved as a Creighton in partnership program, because we want to make sure that students are continuing their academic success and getting a really good quality education while abroad. We partner with a lot of Jesuit universities abroad, although not all of them are Jesuit based. And if you are a student with tuition remission or FAY checks from a partner university, we have university programs, we have Creighton programs that work with that as well. So we would ask that you work with our global programs coordinators in the study abroad office to determine which Creighton programs would allow you to take full, receive that full benefit of tuition remission and FAY checks if you do have that benefit. So here is a list of the locations of our Creighton programs. These are the yellow stars that were on the map earlier. I believe we have 16 locations and about 20 different programs, because there are a few locations that we have multiple partners. So quickly, we have Australia, Belgium, China, Ecuador, France, Germany, India, Ireland, Italy, Japan, Scotland, South Africa, Spain, Sweden, Galapagos, and I now realize there's one missing. We also have Creighton in South Korea. So that may somehow fell off this list, but wanted to make sure and let you know we have that one as well. And then we also have a service learning program in the Dominican Republic called Encuentro Dominicano that I will highlight in a minute. And if none of these locations are a good fit for you, student, through ISEP, which is an exchange partnership worldwide, we're able to get students to many more locations around the world. And those would be those red stars that were on that map earlier. So again, these are our Creighton programs, but students do have opportunities to study abroad in different locations through ISEP Exchange and some of our other partnership programs as well. Now, highlighting quickly Encuentro Dominicano, this is unique for a lot of reasons. It is the one program that Creighton designed and runs ourselves in the Dominican Republic. It's a service learning program, so there's service and volunteerism built in throughout the entire semester, and it's a really, really unique Creighton experience. It is based in Santiago, which is the second largest city in the Dominican Republic, and we actually have Creighton faculty members who live and teach down there for us. So instead of taking classes that would transfer back as Creighton classes, students who participate in Encuentro actually take Magis Core classes instructed by Creighton University faculty members in the DR. So Magis Core classes are available in the DR, Spanish, of course, and then a variety of Creighton electives are available during that semester program as well. And I mentioned that it's a service learning program, which is another thing that's very unique. So there are service learning sites throughout the city of Santiago that our students participate in and volunteer and spend time at. And our students also do twice a year go into rural communities in the DR for service immersions as well. So they really get a unique view of the Dominican Republic in the city life and also the more rural developing side of it. And there are academic and student life excursions included throughout the entire semester. So this is one of those programs that is a, a very a good cost conscious option for students and families who are looking for something that might be a little bit lower cost than other locations. And the cost for tuition and room and board would be exactly what you pay at Creighton, with a lot of travel and excursions built in. So we just like to highlight that one because it is Creighton's own unique program. We've been working with our partner in the Dominican Republic for over 45 years. And we've been running this specific semester-long program for over 25 years. So it's something that has a lot of history and is very well established. Now, everything I've talked about so far are programs that were either semester or could be a full academic year abroad. But we often have students who are more drawn to a shorter term program, who might not be able to participate in a full semester abroad for one reason or another. And we have a lot of summer opportunities as well. And the most popular summer opportunity through Creighton are faculty-led programs abroad, and we call them FLIPAs for short. So you may hear that, your student will probably hear that term. And FLIPAs, we have about 15 different programs each summer worldwide. And a faculty-led program abroad is a program that is designed and run by Creighton faculty members who then travel abroad with the student to facilitate a group of students to facilitate the class. So the program lengths vary. They're usually between 2 to 6 weeks, most often in the summer. And like I said, they are excursions, courses and excursions would be with other Creighton students. So the faculty member is truly taking a group of Creighton students abroad to complete an academic program taught and guided by a Creighton faculty member. And these programs do fill quickly. They are a very, very popular option with our faculty members and our students at Creighton. And while we do have several programs that run pretty consistently, the program offerings for FLIPAs do change a little bit every summer because it depends on which faculty members design and run a course and which gets approved for that summer. So you can see here at the bottom, some of our most typical locations are Australia, Austria, China, England, Japan, Peru. I believe there are 2 that go to Spain, oftentimes every summer. So if your student is interested in a faculty-led program abroad or a summer program, this could be a good option for them. And each course has its own course fee associated with it that includes the academic credit for the program. And all of that information too is available on our website, so students can get the most updated information about semester programs and summer short-term programs on our study abroad website. So a few tips for parents. I really encourage your student to take the lead on exploring and identifying a program that they are interested in. It can seem a little overwhelming, but really having your student take that ownership and take that initiative helps them develop, responsibility, ownership, and then they really do take pride in that experience. It's not an easy thing. Studying abroad is stressful. There are a lot of hoops to jump through. There's immigration, there's language, all of those things. But students who really take their own initiative early in the process really take pride in that experience upon completion. So really encourage your student and let them take the lead on starting the process and narrowing down the opportunities and coming into the Global Engagement Office to talk to advisors. And while studying abroad can seem challenging, there are coordinators. There are 3 Global Engagement Office coordinators in the Study Abroad office to help students along the whole process. So like I said in the very beginning, that was one of my motivators was when I went abroad, and thought it was so wonderful that I was going to help other students have the same experience. And now I get to do that. So while there are a lot of details to think about and it can seem pretty stressful, know that we have an entire team to help them walk through that process. And tips to get started. We really recommend students start thinking about studying abroad, 6 to 12 months in advance. A lot of our incoming students, when they come into Creighton, already know they want to study abroad, but they don't necessarily know when or where. So they start that process of digging through the options right away. And that really is the best thing, because the earlier you start thinking about it and the earlier you start planning, the easier it is to find a program that fits well with you and fits with your four-year plan and provides the classes that you need to keep you on track to graduation. And we have several ways that students can come talk to us and get advice. So every Friday when we're on campus at 12:30 in the Global Engagement Office, we have what we call a Getting Started session. And that is a study abroad session led by one of our study abroad peer ambassadors who are returning study abroad students. And they really help talk students through the whole process of what programs are available. How do I decide where I want to go? How do I figure out which classes are available? Where do I start an application? When is my deadline? All of those things are addressed at every one of these sessions. And that's every Friday at 12:30 in the Global Engagement Office. No RSVP necessary. They can just walk in. And then we have a whole team of peer ambassadors who are returning study abroad students that are really our connection to campus. And they're always happy to talk with potential students, meet them for coffee, show them their photos, those types of things. And our big event that we have in the fall is our Study Abroad Fair. And next year it is scheduled for September 21st from 4 to 7. So we will have posters everywhere. We try to get in front of all students in the fall to let them know about different study abroad opportunities so they can start planning. But the big event is going to be September 21st from 4 to 7 in the Scott Center Ballroom. So if you have any questions, here is the contact information for the Global Engagement Office and Study Abroad. The best resource for information is creighton.edu/studyabroad, because we can keep all of the information updated there as best we can. And our phone number is available there as well. So I hope that this has provided some information and answered a few questions and maybe provided some inspiration for students to start thinking about adding study abroad into their Creighton experience. And we look forward to answering any questions that you have and working with you once we're on campus. Thank you so much for taking time to listen.